What evidence does the prosecution have on Dominique Strauss-Kahn? That's the question at the center of the case, in which the former IMF chief is charged with multiple first-degree felonies, including committing a criminal sex act and attempted rape. Well, today, a Manhattan grand jury decided that there's enough evidence in this case for the charges to go forward. So, what is the nature of that evidence? We take a look.
There he was again today, neat, clean, shaved, and calm. Dominique Strauss-Kahn, looking every inch the international power player he's been for years.
And he has only one interest at this time, and that is to clear his name.
Dominique Strauss-Kahn. Step up, Mr. Kahn.
It was a stark contrast to his appearance in court on Monday when he was drawn and haggard by 2 nights in police custody. But today in courtroom 1213 in Manhattan, it wasn't about the image, it was about the alleged crimes.
The charges that have been voted by the grand jury are serious. 2 B violent felonies, a C violent felony, a D violent felony, and 3 misdemeanor charges.
The Manhattan District Attorney Cyrus Vance made clear that prosecutors believe they can prove that Strauss-Kahn is a sexual criminal.
Under American law, these are extremely serious charges, based on the grand jury's determination that the evidence supports the commission of non-consensual, forced sexual acts.
But defense lawyers and Strauss-Kahn himself, in a letter resigning his position as head of the International Monetary Fund, have insisted on his innocence. I deny with the greatest possible firmness all of the allegations that have been made against me, he wrote.
We expect that Mr. Strauss-Kahn will be vindicated.
Like so many cases involving alleged sex crimes, this one boils down to a he said, she said case.
How important is it that she went right to her manager?
I think that's critical.
Dan Horowitz is a former Manhattan prosecutor and veteran defense lawyer.
Here is an immediate report. She didn't hesitate. And because she spoke so quickly to her coworkers, that evidence is admissible.
Investigators are working hard to back up the story of the alleged victim, a 32-year-old African immigrant hotel housekeeper and the mother of a teenager. They've cut out and removed an 11 by 4 foot section of the floor in the suite, looking for DNA evidence where she says she spat after being forced to perform oral sex. They've retrieved hotel records showing she swiped her electronic card key to get into the suite, but left it open, just as hotel policy requires. But the door was closed. By whom? And what really happened inside?
The police, I can guarantee you, are knocking on the doors of every single one of the guests that had rooms on that floor to find out, what did you hear? Did you hear a door slamming? Did you hear anybody screaming? Who saw the woman get in the elevator? Anything that they can find that will suggest that what this woman said to the police was in fact what happened.
And then there are the actions and the appearance of Dominique Strauss-Kahn himself. All that's evidence too. Hotel records show that at 12:28 p.m. on Saturday, he checked out of the hotel. That's just 25 minutes after records show the housekeeper swiped her card, according to police. And then he had lunch with his daughter and headed to the airport for a previously booked flight. The defense today offered his itinerary and ticket as proof that he wasn't trying to flee anywhere.
These 2 pieces of evidence authoritatively rebut the notion that Mr. Strauss-Kahn was in a panicked mode attempting to make his way onto an international flight to avoid detention in New York.
Police paint a different picture. They say Strauss-Kahn hurriedly left the hotel and that he was bleeding.
His hands apparently were wounded in some ways. He was wearing bandages. They found bandage wrappers in the room. Does the prosecutor make a lot of that?
If she says, sure, I was trying to scratch him. I was doing everything I could to get away. Where'd you scratch him? I scratched him on his hands. Just happens to be where those wounds are.
Then there's what they call demeanor evidence. Police say that when he was arrested at JFK and on the long ride back to Manhattan, Strauss-Kahn never asked why he was being taken into custody.
If in fact they said, you're under arrest, then he silently stood up and put his hands out, that the DA would argue. is consciousness of guilt.
This case has already triggered a worldwide media frenzy. Strauss-Kahn's wife and daughter left the courthouse today through the madness.
I have decided that I will grant a bail.
And he himself will get to leave jail tomorrow and join them. The judge granted a $1 million bail, but the former world financial titan will have to wear an electronic monitoring bracelet and remain confined to a Manhattan apartment. He faces up to 25 years in prison.